guys, Winter Kills here, and coming at you guys with a bit of a ban list prediction video. This is something I've been waiting to do. It just feels like this ban list is a lot longer, like we're having a lot longer of a wait for this ban list than we have for ban lists in the past, and I think we aren't due for one until anytime after the 14th of October, but now, since it is the 1st of October, not only things are getting a little bit spooky, but them ban list predictions, they're coming out of the woodworks, and I figured I'd join in on the discussion. Because I do have a lot of ideas and opinions for the ban list. Some new, some things that have been pushing since the beginning of this year, like Graph and Diva coming back to multiple copies, just things like that. But yeah, before we go ahead and dive into my ban list predictions, sort of slash, hopes and wants, things I'd like to see on this next upcoming list, I want to mention a few things. If you're buying any sealed product or singles on TCG Player, be sure to use my link down in the description below. If you want to help support me just by purchasing things off TCG Player using that link, we greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to pick up an amazing playmat, sleeves, dice, calculator cases, etc., check out Imperium Duelist down in the description below as well, and use that discount code WinterKills10 off to save 10% off your entire order. But let's go ahead and get started. Also, let me know what your predictions are as well. Alright, so to get started here, let's start with the cards I would like to hopefully see banned, or at least predict to end up getting banned at some point, whether it's this list or the next list. Well, I hope it's this list, because I don't really want to wait much longer for these cards to, that should have been banned, to be banned. But I digress. The first card I have to talk about is Nightmare Mermaid. Now, Nightmare Mermaid was a card I didn't think was deserving of a ban back when Bardiche was legal, because it was really just down to the greater of those two evils. You had Bardiche getting you 2 interruptions plus 2 pops on your opponent's turn from its own effect in the Dingirsu, and you also had the 2 interruptions from the 2 fog blades you'd be able to generate, through its own effect. Sending boots, I believe, it's setting fog blade, banishing boots, grabbing another fog blade. So this card had a ton of stuff going for an already extremely powerful deck. Now, once we lost Bardiche, I feel like initially people lost faith in the deck, lost hope that the deck would still even be playable in a competitive scene, but we have seen that is not the case. The deck is still extremely good, and almost even better than it was before in some senses, because the deck is played in a different, more like control-based manner. I guess it was still a control-based deck, but we have cards like Orochi, El Shaddai Winda, and cards like Ibli being played a lot more than we have seen in the past, and the Sky Striker engine thrown in there full force now. The Tenyi stuff with Vishuda. The deck has so many more options now, playing more normal summons like Scrap Recycler and things like that, Armageddon Knight and some Dark Grepher in some builds. But yeah, it seems like it's still a extremely strong deck, and not that there's anything wrong with it being a strong deck. I feel like the thing that's giving it a lot of power, and the thing that's making Orcust a problem overall, is Mermaid, strictly because not only does it give you easy access, essentially a 1-card combo with 2 cards if you want to count the discard. I guess you have to count the discard. Normaling Ibli, making Mermaid, discarding a card, and just getting to summon a Orcust Nightmare for free, and just getting a ton of advantage drawn from just that single play. I think in pure Orcust, Mermaid being gone doesn't do too much other than slow it down a tad, which I think is really all it needs. I think the other problem is the fact that it's being splashed into every other deck under the sun, and then we have this format that's just consisting of everything is just the same. Oh, it's Dino. Oh my god, look at this cool. Oh, there's Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Mermaid, etc., etc. It goes on and on. But I think this is sort of a problem that's plaguing the game right now, and Nightmare Mermaid is really the only card that you can sort of cut off that will fix this problem and leave Orcust to be played on its own. And the only way you're going to be able to get into Galatea is with just a non-Orcust and an Orcust, and that won't be through Mermaid and Orcust Nightmare, which will be really nice to see for a change. And I think it'll make the deck play a little bit differently. I think we'll see lists change up a lot, which would be nice, because that's something we all want right now, I believe, is a change in the format. That's the best thing about ban lists, after all, is that it allows people to sort of start fresh in a sense for some of the top meta decks, and prepare in a different way and build your deck in a completely different manner. So yeah, I think Mermaid should be banned for those reasons. It would keep Orcus in its own archetype instead of being splashed into everything under the sun. And it would also, at the same time, slow Orcus down just a little bit because it would get rid of those, really good one-card combo starters like the Ibli. And it would take away the, oh, I have 2 monsters, I can Orcus combo, etc., etc. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me know if you agree or disagree. But next, I want to talk about one of the infamous cards of this format, Mr. Guard Dragon LP. And I know the OCG banned Agar Pain, which is a bit of a power move if you ask me, but I think LP is a lot worse because it gets you out a card like Omni Dragon Brotar. It gets you a card like Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which gets you into other Link monsters and synchro plays, etc., etc. And I think that card is a bit stronger than Agar Pain. And now with LP being banned, they'll have to set up Pisty first and then revive something from Grave, which they usually had set up previously with LP. I mean, to be honest, I would like to see LP and Agar Pain banned and just leave Pisty as sort of a recovery strategy, which I think would be totally fine. But I think Agar Pain and LP, really just a dynamic duo here that are really just bad for the game. Looking at Agar Pain, it's usually set up through LP because when you have one, you usually have the other. That's usually the case. It's rarely just one without the other. But you're getting, to special summon from deck of anything. Get to search any Dark Dragon or Light Dragon, whatever it may be, off your Brotar. Search Lavanya, etc., etc. Really powerful cards. And then you're able to summon Hot Red Abyss or Crystal Wing or whatever, number 38 from your extra deck for literally free. And then you oftentimes get a Heretic Seals of Heavenly Spheres off of that, which is just insane. Non-targeting bounce plus a free special summon. It hardly seems fair. And I think everybody is so sick of it at this point. It should just get hit off the list and not be played whatsoever. And just, allow boards to be built in a completely different fashion. Because I'm pretty sure everybody is sick of Guard Dragons at this point. And they're hardly fair, to be honest. Summoning any dragon from your deck. And then also being able to search pretty much any dragon in your deck. And then summoning anything from your extra deck for basically free. Like, literally free. And also at that point, having the option to link to something like Spheres to get out of that dragon lock. Which is hardly a lock, as it would seem. Because there's so many good cards for them to go into. But they just generate way too much advantage at far too little of a cost. And I think it would be almost more fair if it locked you into dragons for the entire turn. I'm not sure how much that would change the strategy, but who knows? I think LP or Agar Pain, I'd like to see them both go, but I don't think we'll see both. I think it's going to be one or the other to start until the other one is also like, oh yeah, I guess this is a problem too, and then it'll get hit, as things often do. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay and a lag, between two cards that sort of go together. Usually the greater of the two evils go first, and then people are like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then they're like, oh, nope, now it's a problem. Now it has to go, etc., etc. Like the Eclipse Wyvern ban, we'll go back to that. That was completely pointless. They banned that and then came out with a secret rare version of that card that was just leaps and bounds better, because it just allowed you to add a card instantly from your deck instead of having to wait to banish it. So you need an additional extender in your hand to be able to get that search. I guess, is it good that it's banned? Yeah. Is it a card they don't have to work with now? Yes, but Omni Dragon Brotar is just so strong. And it's only so strong because they have LP to summon out of the deck for free. Alright, so that's really all I have predicted to be banned. I think we'll see very little things be banned on this list, unless you guys have other suggestions. Let me know down in the comments below. But now we'll move on to the limited section. And first I have Saryuja. This is a card that I've been wanting to go to 1 for quite some time. This is a card that I think when it was originally printed should have had in its text, cannot be used as link material, because lo and behold, we've seen tons of FDKs and degenerate combo decks cycle through 2 or 3 of these cards in a turn to draw an absurd amount of cards, see an absurd amount of cards in their deck, like the Slash Draw FDK we saw with multiple Saryujas. It was just insane. A lot of Crusadia Guard Dragon decks going through 2 in a turn, no problem. It's just a card that's just been needing to go to 1 for so many months now. If it doesn't go to 1, I'm just going to be shocked and really just speechless. This is a card that needs to go to 1, 100%. Then moving on, Lavanya, Chaos Dragon Lavanya has slipped under the radar a little bit, and I think this card is just way too good. The fact that people are playing Melody to search multiple copies of these. This card is just insane. It does so much. It helps for a bit of a hand loop when combined with the Diabolos turn 1. And then they also have the ability to search it off Rotar during your turn. If you destroy something, they can just go ahead and search another Lavanya for next turn to either blow up 2 cards, Monster Reborn something, or shuffle a card back from your hand into the deck at random. And it's kind of RNG based, whatever card they hit, which I don't really like RNG based things as much. That's why I hate the dangers so much, but I'm glad those have been addressed in some way, shape, or form. But Lavanya, I think, would be a good card to go at 1. We've seen in the past a lot of really powerful Chaos Boss monsters get hit to 1. You know, the original BLS and original Emperor of the End before the errata, and then even banned possibly. But yeah, I think this would be a perfect card to go to 1. It's just really good. And multiple copies, I just don't think it's a good idea, especially with Thunder Dragon. That would, I feel like, be a slight hit to Thunder, which does need to be addressed in some way, shape, or form. Then moving on is another card I'd like to see limited, Zodiac Trident. We have 1 rat. We have no, Broad Bull, which I think Broad Bull needs to stay banned. Or otherwise, you're risking Fire Fist getting a huge power boost, as well as like Lunalight, I believe, could benefit greatly from Broad Bull coming back. So I think Trident could come back to 1. Let some Zodiac players have a little fun. And the remaining Zodiac player population have a little fun with the Trident coming back to 1. So I think that would be all fine and dandy. Now, with Tempest coming back, they brought Tempest back. I'm not sure why they chose Tempest, but I guess if I want to continue on this fashion, maybe we'll see Redox come back this list. I feel like he's not as splashable. He is an Earth monster. Maybe I guess you could see him in BA variants, which would be kind of cool. Maybe get me to switch over to the Block BA variant, that Earth BA variant, which I've seen popping up quite a bit and is looking very, very enticing with Gigantes and all the other cards that are being played in there. So maybe we'll see Redox. I would really put Title on this list, but let's be honest, that's probably not going to happen. So moving on, the last card I have predicted to be limited is Thunder Dragon Colossus. If there's nothing I hate more right now, it's Thunder Dragon Colossus. It's such a sturdy card that can survive so much. If you try to get rid of it in the improper way, your opponent just pluses off of it by just banishing Thunders from their grave. Yeah, an indestructible mistake is very, very powerful, and I think this card could definitely go to 1. They have the means to recycle it 100%, so I think that card could go to 1. Will it happen? Who knows? I think if Lavanya gets hit to 1, that'd be a good hit to Thunder. But yeah, and I think with Nibiru sort of being a card in the meta, Thunder is already inherently hit. Same thing with Dark Ruler No More. So Colossus to 1 might be a bit of a stretch, but hey, I wouldn't mind it. I know a lot of Thunder Dragon players probably would, obviously. But I think it could go to 1. So yeah, those are the cards that I predicted to go limited. Yugioh, Lavanya, Zodiac Trident, Redox, and Thunder Dragon Colossus. Now we'll move on to the semi-limited section. Here I see Engage going to 2. I don't think Engage will go to 1 as much as people really want that card to even go to 0. That just completely murders Sky Striker, literally unplayable. Is that what the format needs? Maybe. I know a lot of people are sick of seeing Striker. I know I am. But I think Engage going to 2 would at least slow it down quite a bit. But then again, you have Ray sort of, being copies of Engage as well, if you want to think about it. But only going second, really, because you have Ray Hayate dump the Engage, then into Kagari. But that really puts a lot of pressure on that Kagari going through, or the Hayate going through, etc., etc. So I think Engage could easily go to 2. That doesn't quite kill the deck. It does hit it a little bit, and any other deck that would sort of splash the Sky Striker engine is also a little bit hindered now, because you only have 2 copies of Engage to work with. Then next I see Construct going to 2. I really, really hope Construct comes to 2. I don't know why it still isn't at 2. It makes no sense to me. Somebody please explain why Construct is still at 1. I think this card should go to 2, 100%. I've got 3. I'm waiting for this card to come to 2. I've been waiting for it to come to 2 for so long now. Then next I have Sea Diva. That card, I have no idea why it's still at 1, especially if you ban Mermaid. Who cares? There's no Orcus combo they're going to be doing. Mulan Glacia is not that great of a card. I mean, it's decent, but if you clear it, they lose their next battle phase, which Mermaid needs to, win the game most of the time. Yeah, and Mermaid also just kind of loses to Nibiru a lot, and Dark Ruler No More as well. But yeah. I don't know why this card is still at 2 or still at 1. It blows my mind. But anyways, moving on, we have Graph, Malbranch of the Burning Abyss. This is a card I feel like should come to 2. Seer is one of those cards that, with the Seer Dante loop, probably should stay at 1 for a little bit longer, but then honestly, like, why? Like, BA is not that great. I mean, Graph could easily come back to 2, 100%. UNICOR is another card that I want to see come back to 2. Necroz is still the same old deck it's been. You know, it's sort of like Vanity's Ruler or Bust. You know, what is it? Zaborg or Bust, or just protect the UNICOR and hope you don't get OTK'd type of deal right now. That deck does get hindered by Dark Ruler No More quite a bit because it turns off the UNICOR, turns off the Vanity's Ruler, etc., etc. Zaborg is a bit of a different beast, but they cannot search it, you know, efficiently enough for it to be a huge threat. So I think UNICOR could easily come to 2. And then I have Book of Moon to come to 2, because why is this card still at 1? Who knows? Moving on to the unlimited section, I have Chaos Emperor, Envoy of the End, because this card is absolutely just doo-doo trash with the errata, so I think we'll see it come to 3. I think it went to 2 the last list. I think we'll just see it get to the unlimited section and just pushed off the list until who knows when. And then when I see Aether, the Heavenly Monarch, coming back to 3 as well, because it has done absolutely nothing at 2, so I think they'll continue to bump that off the list as well. Shuret I see will come to 3, because I don't think anybody would even play 3 Shuret to begin with. Maybe 60 card builds would, but then again, they already have Rhoda, so Shuret basically is at 3 as it stands. And if you want to count Bryanak as well, Shuret's basically like at 6 copies right now you can play in the main deck. And then we also have Stratos, I predict will come to 3, just because it's been a continuing trend of, you know, it coming to 2, and then we'll see it come to 3. Heroes just got a little bit more support from the Immortal Destiny set, so I think we'll see it come to 3. Is that a bit of a stretch? Maybe, but that's really what I think will happen. So anyways, that's it for this Banlist prediction video. I hope you guys enjoyed. How close do you think I am? How far off do you think I am in some aspects? Do I think I hit the nail right on the head? I think I've got some pretty good picks here. I think Lavanya is a card that is definitely going to go to 1. I really hope it goes to 1. Mermaid LP banned 100%. Title? Diva? What do you guys really want to come off the list? Or what cards do you guys really want to see get on the list? Semi-limited, limited, or forbidden? Let me know down in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out my TCG player link, as well as Imperium Duelist. Much love, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, guys, UNICOR signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.